I'm going to tell you what all you pussies lack. Now, understand that there is something called an intention. And the intention within your mind is the root causation of the way you behave. And so when you have no intention to be and become a better person, when you have no intention to evolve, to develop, and to grow, you will see that your attention will be placed in places and spaces it shouldn't be. Your mental space will be occupied giving away and feeding attention to things that do not need attention. And so when you lack the intention to grow and to develop, you will navigate your attention to places and spaces it shouldn't be. And so what you need to do is look at the way you behave as an individual. You need to reflect on what intentions you have that correlate and correspond to that abrupt behavior, because you have to understand that the way you behave is a reflection of your soul. And so when you behave like a low-level piece of shit, bitch, when you behave like a low-quality individual who is embodying so many low qualities that this individual is now valueless, worthless, and as valuable as a bundle of fucking sticks, you will see that the reason you are that low quality is because you have qualities such as addiction, such as lust, such as seeking distractions. You have qualities like sloth. You have qualities like gluttony. You have qualities that reflect low quality, mediocrity forms of behavior. And so the way you intend and the way you move with intention through your existence, this is what is going to correlate and correspond to the way you behave as an individual. And so you need to look in the mirror and you need to reflect upon what intentions do you have internally that reflect your external behavior. Because the reason you are so lustful, the reason you cannot dwell within a space with other people and you have to project your internal low qualities onto them, which may be sloth. The intention for you to compensate for your sloth will be to project excuses onto the individual that has no excuses. The way you project your internal intention called lust is by projecting your lustful thoughts on thought forms onto other people in the environment. And so what you need to do is look at your mind and look at all the intentions you have, and then you need to reflect, and you need to deeply reflect on how you behave and how these intentions control you. Because most of you guys are truly possessed by lower qualities, and then you reflect it in your behavior, unaware to the fact that the reason you act like this is because you've been feeding a low quality for such a long time that you have normalized something that is abnormal. The porn addiction needs to go. You being addicted to porn is an abnormal thing. That is an abnormal thing to do, to watch porn every single night. To have the intention to pleasure yourself, to rob yourself out of the true intention that you gain from holding your seed within you, from holding your power within you. When you hold your power within yourself, you can now direct and channel it into different things. When you waste your life force, when you waste your essence, you will reflect it in your behavior. You will be a wasteful individual, and you will permeate the space and contaminate the space with that low quality called lust. And so the biggest thing you need to do is look at the way you behave, track it back into the intention, and then you need to wonder why. You need to think and reflect on why you have this intention. The reason you guys are so lustful is because you're trying to escape something through other people. The reason you guys are addicted is because you're trying to escape yourself through substances. The reason you have these low qualities is because you have a weakness within yourself. You have a wounded aspect of yourself that you neglect to solve and seek to distract yourself. And so what you need to do is truly reflect on that low quality pussy in the mirror and figure out why the fuck you have this low quality intention and why you're allowing it to keep you at a low quality, low level piece of shit bitch that can't do shit but project their low qualities that inhabit their mind through the habits that they put their time and energy and attention into, which reflect and correlate to the way they behave as individuals within their timeline. And so remember that you live once and time is decreasing as we speak. And so when you wake up with the intention to escape yourself through lust, when you wake up with the intention to be slothful, to have gluttony all occupied in your fucking life, to sit there and be a fat piece of shit. When you sit there and you're lazy, when you sit there and you occupy space, standing there with zero intention to grow like and expand like everything in the fucking universe, to be a fucking contrary, to be something other than what you are, which is a constant evolving of forms, to evolve as an individual, to grow as an individual, to sit there, to not have the intention to grow, but have everything else, such as lust and all these lower qualities that you possess as a low quality individual. You have to understand that that is a reflection of your soul, and you are a waste of life, a waste of time, a waste of energy, and you are a etheric pollution that inhabits the space and contaminates it with the mediocrity that is the low qualities within your mind that you allow to inflate. These qualities within you inflate because you feed them so much. You do not contain yourself, and so they spill out and leak into the external environment. And so these low qualities like lust, these are spilling out of your mind and ruminating the space because you cannot contaminate, control, and hold yourself accountable to it. The standard. Your standard is not the standard. The standard is to hold yourself to a high degree of accountability, to be a high quality individual. And your standard is so below the standard because you've been drowning in these lower qualities for so long that now you are leaking an uncontaminated force, an uncontained force, an uncontained emotion, which is lust, which is envy, which is sloth. All these things are uncontained emotions that you neglect to control because of how low quality you are as an individual. And so when we zoom in and truly reflect and deduce you to what you are through your actions, and we actually throw the simulation out the window and we truly deduce and objectify you, there is no objectivity. That is objectifying something in itself. When we truly deduce you from a rational conscience point of view, to sit there and be addicted to porn, to sit there and be a lazy piece of shit, and to sit there and be a envious garbage of a human, you have to understand that all these low qualities are permeating the space. And as you continue to feed it through thought forms, as you continue to charge that ideation of a belief system and feed it with more thoughts, you will see that you will reflect the behavior of that intention more and more and more. And so what you need to do is reflect on your intentions as an individual and intend to change and to grow. Because most of you guys are going to die low quality, fucking low level pieces of shit that did nothing but take. Most of you guys take space on earth. Most of you guys take breath from life. How about you sit there, reflect on that pussy bitch, floundering fucking fish, and actually reflect and give life a breath. To actually give breath to life. To feed life more life by being a conduit for life itself. To be a beacon of hope and health and wealth and success. To be a beacon of light. You guys are shadows, and all you do is project your darkness onto what you want to be, because now you have to reflect on what you are not, because what is being, which is what you are not being, is reflecting what the fuck you're not. And since you are too much of a low quality piece of shit to reflect on your low qualities and change, now you have to project all your low qualities onto the individual who is reflecting what you are not, which is the individual who wakes up and has the intention to grow every day and chooses to grow every day, to have the intention to wipe out everything negative and put their energy into everything constructive. You guys sit there and you have these low quality intentions. The development begins after you confront yourself and wipe all these negative qualities out of your mind. The lust, the porn addiction, the vape, the Pornhub, all these lower qualities manifest through your behavior. And when people have to sit here and put up with what they once cleared out, you have to understand the friction and the resistance being in a space with you occupying the same environment with you does. It causes resistance because now we have to deal with you and actually be aware of your existence. And now we have to acknowledge the fact that something so low quality actually exists. Now we have to sit there and think about why you exist, how you sit there and you stagnate in these lower qualities. We actually have to think and acknowledge your existence and then process your behavior, because you are external stimuli we have to now perceive into the environment, because some reason you exist, but to yourself you aren't worth much. Your existence is basically worth nothing, because if you believe you're worth those lower qualities, well, that is what you are worth. The work you put into yourself instills the worth. And so the reason you guys drown in these lower qualities is because you believe you have no worth. You believe you're worth the qualities you put your time and energy into. And so what you need to do is reflect as an individual on why you put your time and energy into these qualities. And you'll realize sooner or later that you're really just a wounded individual who has buried the light within themselves through shadows that they refuse to confront within themselves. So take accountability for that low quality bitch. And remember that you wasted the life you only live once, drowning and stagnating in these lower qualities. Peace!